The reality is as soon as we get through this nomination intra-squad scrimmage, we all need to be united. We need all the wings of the Republican Party and conservatives flapping together in the same direction, and need to get independent voters and also it's Democrats. And I think in places like Southwest Virginia, coal country, just like in West Virginia, Democrats care about their jobs and their families and their communities, and I think they're going to see that Tim Kaine and President Obama would be obviously quite harmful to anybody involved in coal country. But the rest of us, in Northern Virginia, there's a big effort in Loudoun County and Prince William. In fact, yesterday I was at a data center. These data facilities, gosh, they suck up tons of electricity. And if electricity rates are forced to be unnecessarily high because of EPA regulations, that's going to affect the competitiveness of our country and our Commonwealth of Virginia in attracting data centers. And the places that have the most affordable electricity have it generated by either clean coal technology or hydroelectric.
Can I underscore this point, because it's a brilliant point I hadn't even thought about. You have counties like Loudoun County, outer suburbs, Prince William County, outer suburbs, counties like Fairfax, Virginia, as a matter of fact, where a high-tech computer technology, these things are all over these counties and employ an enormous number of people, and they rely on electricity, and we now have a federal government that is doing everything it can to kill coal-generated electricity, which is an enormous percentage of the electricity that we use.
Exactly right. And I know as governor, when we were recruiting businesses to Virginia, particularly from New York and New Jersey and Connecticut, I'd compare our electricity rates. And I said, look at our electricity rates are almost free compared to what you all are paying up there. And technology companies need perfect power. No sags, no surges, and it needs to be always on and affordable. And so for the federal government, for Washington and the EPA and Tim Kaine and President Obama and them to say, no, you're not going to be able to be using clean coal technology for reliable American electricity is really harmful to our high-tech community here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We're one of the hubs for the Internet, and that takes away one of our great competitive advantages.
You used, when you were in the Senate, you pushed hard, along with others, to balance the budget and to limit taxes, correct?
Yep. And many years, even before 9/11, when I was in the House, I introduced a constitutional amendment requiring a balanced budget, had taxpayer protection, and line item veto authority for the president. Presidents since Thomas Jefferson to Ronald Reagan thought there ought to be a balanced budget. In fact, Ronald Reagan, in his farewell statement, said he wishes he had accomplished two things when he was president. One is line item veto authority and balanced budget authority. And the reality is the federal government needs to set priorities. That takes leadership. The national defense of our country is the number one responsibility of the federal government, and that does mean keeping our promises to our veterans and their families for the benefits they've earned. And we're seeing what's happened with that failed super committee. You have the credit of our country has been downgraded for the first time ever. And now the cuts, the sequestration, are going to be devastating to our military readiness, and that affects jobs in Virginia as well. The problem for folks in Washington is they don't understand that the best social program of all is a job in the private sector where people are taking care of themselves and their families rather than being dependent or reliant on the government. And listening to folks, Mark, throughout Virginia, there was one business fellow, small business owner, he said, I want the government to get off our back and out of my pockets. And that's really my sentiment as well. I think, we ought to allow people to make decisions for themselves and their families. Small businesses are where jobs are created. And we need to reinvigorate the entrepreneurial spirit of this country with pro-job growth economic policies, which means we ought to have tax laws that are more simple, fair, and competitive. We need to rein in these unelected bureaucrats and have reasonable regulations. We need to unleash, obviously, our American energy resources and then trust the people in the states. They're the laboratories of innovation. We don't need the federal government running everything in our lives. In fact, Medicaid, my view, ought to be turned to the states. It's similar to what I did while I was governor with welfare reform 2 years before the federal government did it. And so I guarantee you the states could run Medicaid much more efficiently than having everything remotely directed to us from people in Washington.
All right, we don't have a lot of time. Are you looking forward, should you defeat Tim Kaine and get through this primary process, are you excited looking forward to joining the forces of the likes of DeMint and Rubio and folks like that?
Yeah, sure am. And that's why I got off the sidelines into the fight. And Susan and I are traveling throughout Virginia. Heck, we're not even together today. It's our 26th wedding anniversary. And
wow.
I'm in one part of Virginia. She's in northern Virginia and Richmond area. And so, yes, this is a pivotal time in our country's history. It's our generation's rendezvous with destiny. And I really do feel freedom hangs in the balance. And I look forward to making some tough decisions, but the decisions that need to be made to get our country to be that land of opportunity for all and have a government that's on the side of people rather than fighting entrepreneurs in our country.
George Allen, God bless you, my friend. I want to strongly endorse you again. Tuesday's Virginia primary. Good luck to you, sir. Boy, that would be great if we can get him nominated and back into the U.S. Senate. It's GeorgeAllen.com.